What's up guys, it's Jock from Muc-Off, and today I'm going to show you how to install our Crank Preload Ring. To install the preload ring, the first thing we need to do is remove the chain guide and the crank. But do remember that the cranks are notoriously difficult to remove, so it may be better if you do this on the floor for extra weight to undo them. So now we've removed the chain and the chain guide, all we're going to do now is just remove the entire crank itself. Now our drive side crank is off, we're going to use a rubber mallet and we're just going to help knock that through. So now the cranks are off, it's the perfect time to remove any grit and re-grease. Now we're at the surgeon's table, both cranks are removed. Now I'm going to use some bio-degreaser to remove any old grease. Now we've degreased the cranks and the spindle, it's time to remove the preload ring. And on there is a little Allen key bolt, which a 2mm Allen key will fit into. We're going to simply undo this, like so, and then we're going to unscrew the preload ring. But before we get to the end, we need to leave a little bit of a space, as there is a threaded spacer which is attached to the spindle that we also need to remove. We're going to tighten that back up, and all we're going to use is our hands to pull that thread off, like so. And we're going to keep pulling that off all the way off, like so. I'm going to give it a little wipe, get rid of any grit or anything that's found its way in there. As I have a SRAM DUB crank, I need to use the DUB adapter, not the 30mm adapter. So we're going to use the big adapter here, which has got the top hat, the flat part, and we're going to slide that all the way on this way, making sure that the thread is facing down the spindle. The crank, and before we slide it on, we need to put some thread lock on. We want enough thread lock just to coat the inside of that adapter ring, and we're going to slide it onto the spindle, and we're going to leave that to set for 24 hours. And we're going to wipe off any excess thread lock that has made its way onto the spindle. Now the DUB adapter is fitted to the spindle, it's time to screw on the preload ring. Before I put the crank back onto the bike, I'm going to use some bio grease all over the spindle. And with an 8mm Allen key, we're going to tighten up the crank bolt. And that's it. Once the crank is tightened, it's time to take a look to see if it needs any preload. Now I've added preload, by turning it clockwise, I'm going to nip it up with a 2mm Allen key. Now the preload ring is installed, it's time to put the chain and chain guide back on. And that is how you install our Crank Preload Ring. I'll see you in the next one.